All good. All right. Okay, 7 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Thank you for attending our regular board meeting. Today is Monday, September 15th of 2025. Dr. Hanson will take roll call for us tonight. And then I would look for approval of the consent agenda items that are listed below, where we all have information embedded, and that includes the approval of minutes from our regular board meeting on August 18th of 2025, the closed session on August 18th of 2025, the payment of bills, the employee resignations, the professional teacher contracts, athletic co-curricular instructional leadership hires, the alternate open enrollment applications, and the Tomah High School ESS waivers. Is there anything that anybody needs pulled out of the consent agenda?
2C.
You both wanted 2C? 2C and 2C? Okay.
I have a question on 2F.
Okay, so 2C and 2F will come out. Everybody good with the rest? Then I would look for a motion to approve A, B, D, E, and G.
So moved.
Second.
All right, sounds good. We got Teresa making the motion and Heidi doing the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so 2C, employee resignations.
Just wondering if you've got any leads on those two positions?
I'll get that to the next session.
They're pretty important positions. I mean, if we don't, do we have something in place of those kids' own services and things?
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
My same question.
No, my question was, I know one of the resignations, 9/25, end of the school year. The other one didn't have anything, so that's immediate.
Not
But I mean,
yes.
Good. All right. I need a motion to approve the employees' resignations that are vetted then.
So moved.
I got Teresa and I got a second by Spencer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then 2F, which is the alternate open enrollment applications.
And I had a question on those.
Yep.
We see this a lot where the reason for the request is for repeated bullying or harassment. You said at one time you talked to these
Yes,
parents.
I follow up when I can. They like to visit and walk through those, so we always follow up on any reports of bullying and harassment reported. So I just want to stay in contact with the families and reach out. If it's a request for a neutral school, I reach out with our RBAs and things like that. So,
When we talk about bullying and stuff, do we ever clarify whether it's a face-to-face on the playground kind of bullying or if it's cyberbullying?
no, it's not listed in the other parents, right? So
Can we ask them to be more specific where this might be happening, or is that not?
no, I can know that something we reach out to the visit
Yeah.
buildings or other things with those, they can, that type of activity can happen
Right.
anywhere, so.
Okay, because I just happen to think of, was just curious to see if this is online cyberbullying kind of things, or if it's a face-to-face, a playground, that kind of thing.
In buildings, most,
Okay.
Because of FERPA, would you be able to even tell us if it's, in general, how many are bullied, face-to-face or cyberbullied or anything like that?
In the context of this, at our Wood Academies, we'll be presenting those 3 sets of data on that, and I can see if within that, we can pull those out in terms of where they occurred. So I believe it's either a bullying incident and then place that they're occurred, but do check into that. I mean, you have to put where it happened in that group of campus to an extent. I'll have to try to check that sort of activity in the classroom. So I can check into that one, but the bullying incidents are coded generally.
could I just want to
Yeah, go ahead.
piggyback on that. So, within that then, obviously it must have been more than just one occasion. Is there anything to support that with corrective action or anything in that regard that is tied into that? Because obviously it got to the extent that, they chose it was best to attend elsewhere. And I would not suspect it would be on one event. Typically it's an individual who has multiples, and I just wonder how do we handle that as far as correcting that, or is that part of that process?
Part of the process is once that happened, you check, your principals check in, and something a while back. So you have a candid conversation about that if you'd like to visit that.
Yeah, just.
So
that's-
some of those things might be addressed in the academy meeting that's coming up.
The data
Yeah.
sets,
Yeah, the data,
and
yeah.
certainly you can, ask about approaches to things.
Okay. Great.
Good question. Thank you.
Good. Motion to approve the alternate open enrollment applications that were vetted.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion by Sue, second by Teresa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next we have communication with the public. We have a couple people signed up tonight. I will read our statement before that. Public comment at regular and special board meetings. The board will now entertain public comments for up to 30 minutes. Please note that if you wish to provide public comment to the board, you must register your intention to do so upon arrival at the meeting. You must be a district resident and are requested to preface your comments by an announcement of your name, address, and group affiliation if applicable. Public comments are limited to a total of 3 minutes in length per individual. When your time is up, I will remind you that your time is over and you should conclude your remarks. Participants must direct all comments to the board and not to staff or other participants. No person may address or question board members individually. Please note that certain subjects are not appropriate for public comment. Comments that are personally directed, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, or otherwise inappropriate are not permitted. If you make such comments, I will interrupt you and admonish you to refrain from doing so. If you persist on doing so, I will advise that your time is over and you will not be permitted to offer any further comments. All participants are encouraged to ensure that all information offered is truthful and honest. False statements or stigmatizing charges may subject the individual making such statements to legal repercussions, including but not limited to defamation claims. In addition, please note that our board has adopted certain policies regarding district management of and the roles of the board and its administration play in managing the district. Therefore, please understand that you may be referred to other district officials if it is apparent from your comments that you have not brought your concern to the attention of the right district personnel so that you can receive the assistance that you need. Finally, please remember that I will be managing the public comment portion of our meeting so that we can meet all the objectives that I have mentioned in this introduction. And the first one we have signed up is Vaughn Keel.
Hello again, Vaughn Keel, 16083 Herring Road, Tomah. I just have a couple short comments, kind of questions, I know you can't answer them. But just for the public, pretty all of our major production businesses have reduced their workforce down to no part-timers and a lot of automation, and the one major one is totally closed. So my question on that part is the school district losing students because of non-availability of jobs? And if we are, second comment, if we're having crowding situations, was portable classrooms ever looked into? And the last one, I thought when I took a trip to Sparta here, the school forest. How much of the school forest has been absorbed by the right-of-way, by the big high line they put in there? So we actually don't have that much school forest to sell because they cannot use that property. The high line has a right-of-way, period. I don't know if it's 66 feet or if it's bigger, but that lake, if it's a full lake, that adds up to acreage. Just something to think about as you're considering selling.
Just for clarification, is it Yeaglin or where are we?
No,
that one.
16
Okay, okay.
towards
All right,
Sparta.
all right. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Yep, thank you.
That's all I got, thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. A highline and the school forest on 116 towards Sparta.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the other one signed up tonight is Sharon Seeley.
Hi, my name is Sharon Seeley, 20914 Derby Ave, Tomah, Wisconsin. I'm a second grade teacher at Lemon Elementary, and I've been in the district for 30 years. I want, two things I want to chat about. One thing is I haven't taught summer pack in quite a few years, and I taught summer pack this summer and was so impressed with Miss Amy Langner and Mr. Jared's data and the awesome support that they gave throughout the whole time, the whole summer pack. I mean, no matter what it was, they were there for me. I really appreciated them. I wanted you to know how much I appreciated them. Second thing I just want to mention is thank you all for being at opening and service for all of us. It was noticed and appreciated. You were there at the meetings, you were there at all of our breakout sessions. People were asking questions, how come the school board is here, and it's good to see them here. I mean, it was appreciated, it was noticed, and deep from my heart, thank you so much for doing it. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, those were the only two, pretty painless tonight. Next, we'll move into reports. Under that, we have a recognition of staff and students, and we would normally have Ms. Ruby Joyce, who is our THS student representative to the Board of Education, but she is unable to be here tonight due to a class that she is taking, so we look forward to hearing from her next month. And we'll go down to district strategic plan initiatives and student achievement, and under that, we have the Tomah High School Link Crew Organization.
Can I say one thing? I said the wrong Amy. Amy King. Amy King.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good, we're all good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have Mr. Duncan Peterson from the high school, two representatives from the Link Crew. This is an outstanding program at the high school. It's been around for quite some time, but when I go in and take a look, there are amazing activities welcoming back students and the work that they do throughout the year.
So, myself, along with Mr. Oakley Mosier and Ms. Kate Spires at the high school, are the advisors for Link Crew. Our primary goal is helping the transition for freshmen coming into the building be a little bit easier, as well as just promoting kindness and the values of the Timberwolf inside Tomah High School amongst all the grade levels. So I brought with me Sophia Hayes and Avery Chapman, sorry, that are going to tell you a little bit more about what their role is as Link leaders this year.
I'm Sophia. I'm a senior at Wisdom High School. It was my first year being a Link Crew leader. I loved it. It was amazing. I took part in the freshman orientation, so we had 2 training days leading up to it, where we all got together as a group. We did all the games. We did all the introductions. We did all the training. So we had this whole binder where we were taught all the stuff we needed to know, along with the introduction of how to start it and how to do it, and then how it correlated to being a freshman, going into your freshman year, and what it's like to go through some different struggles. So that was very fun. We spent 2-ish 8-hour days, just learning of how to teach the freshmen. And then it was a Friday, we had freshman orientation. We spent about an hour getting ready. We all had our own themes. We had our little group. So we each got a correlate. I personally did neon. But my partner was in a tutu and Susan. We love that. I had a pom-pom. Bought a bunch of glow sticks for the kids, candy, so they got the questions right and whatnot. So in our groups, we just went through everything that we were taught over those 2 days. I enjoyed it a lot. Teach the kids new things. It's fun.
I'm Avery Chapman. This year was my second year in Link Crew, and I'm going to talk about the mini lessons we did throughout the school year. I think they were super important to not just leave the freshmen hanging after the orientation, and just having those mini lessons and letting them know that they had somewhere to talk to teachers and how to respect other students. Just keeping it up throughout the school year was really important. And what we would do is we would have little training days where we'd go over the game and importance of the game, the meaning behind it. And we've got one this week where we will learn the lesson, and then Friday we'll go into the Timberwolf time and play with them, and then just let them know the lesson and have them carry on with the year.
Yeah, and our Link leaders have been amazing. We have 48 leaders this year, juniors, seniors, out of over 90 candidate applicants. So it's a really rigorous process that we go through too, of looking at all the applicants, a lot of tough decisions for who's going to be in and who's not. There's a lot of specific criteria looking for our great leaders to help us make that transition easier. I have to give our Link leaders deserves all the credit in the world. On our orientation day, I just kind of sat back on my hands. We did a good job training because they were amazing. Sophia, I will give her props. I walked past the classroom and there was a major student eruption that even me as a 10th year teacher was like, whoa. And I stood outside the door and I heard it, and she handled it like a pro. She de-escalated the situation. She used all the training we gave her. So we have amazing leaders. And we love having Lead Crew be a part of our high school. So thank you for that opportunity to keep that program going as well.
Quick question, it's a great program, and I'm familiar with it from the past as well. And not only is it good for the students coming in, but it's great for those kids for leadership qualities. Quick question though, if you have someone that comes into school midterm, mid-semester or something, do you have a link crew person that you can assign them to kind of help them
So
walk
we
through the
can,
process?
if it's a freshman or someone, even just a new student, we try to pair them up. And the link leaders know if they, that we're during our training, if it's not just freshman orientation, if it's during the middle of the year, you see someone who looks lost, you see someone who looks like they need something, your leaders step in and help out. They do a good job embodying that all the time.
Good to hear that.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for coming, ladies. We appreciate coming tonight and hearing about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So, good to hear from them. Okay, next we have service to the Tomah community, and under that first we have an acceptance of gifts of money and or materials.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Fantastic evening to honor so many organizations that support our students. A donation from Oakley Mosher's classroom to THS from Tomah Health, a $500 donation from Tomah Health. A donation for the Student Assistance Fund from Oakdale Electric Cooperative of $1,500 donation. A donation for Timberwolf Opportunities sign from the Tomah Sports Boosters, a $3,352 donation. From the Thomas B. Earl Grant for the Warren's Gaga Pit, a $3,256 donation, and for another Gaga Pit at Wyville, $3,256, $11,864 in donations there. I want to thank so many folks for doing great things across our district.
For the Gaga Pit, are they building them like soon for
I hope so.
Warrens and Wyville? Does anyone know?
So,
We talked a little bit about it last month because we were
Right.
together, right?
And I don't know why my mind automatically went to the Warrens part. So I was just wondering if you were doing it still.
I know some of you are quite know.
I was just I thought maybe you might know because of that, but it's all good. If you don't, you don't.
Do they have enough money to build one at this point?
I don't know anything. That's why I was wondering if anyone had any more information.
With you. The donations from the Earl Foundation are extraordinary. It's just wonderful, and also from the Andres and all of our folks in there.
I just want to say thank you to all of the community members that sponsor our schools and elevate our schools and giving them the gifts that they receive. So we do really appreciate that.
We also had some donations here. Toro has donated a Workman UTX, excuse me.
Oh,
and
nice.
we see Craig and our team from Toro there. So helpful. It was out of the football game Friday night.
That was donated by tomorrow? That was donated by tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So they're very, very powerful little machines for us. They do a lot of work, so that's great. And then also from our Walmart Supercenter here in Tomah, 1,600 boxes of Crayola prints, and that's very powerful as well. So we have those here at the district office and get those out too. So
I agree with Teresa that we're very blessed to have such gracious individuals and businesses that donate to the school. So I'll make a motion that we accept the gifts that we receive.
You good with one motion?
Is there one more?
sure, if you'd like to do those last two.
Yeah. All
All of them, yeah.
And I'll second.
And that's for all three. Thank you.
The motion by Sue is second by Teresa for acceptance of all those that were presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, continuing on, we got future focus, and under that we have the Wisconsin Association of School Boards, our WASBA Region 6 meeting, which is October 9th, 2025 in Alaska.
Yes, got a registrant for that already, and we're starting to see more out of WASB in terms of possible bill drops and other items that are coming through. So thank you so much. If you can make these, your advocacy and work in person too is fantastic.
Do we need to like let you know? Or
It's very easy for Sheila and I to register.
Yeah,
So
that's
then you
fine.
should get an email back, or I'll confirm that with you. So it's
Okay.
some time.
Mr. Newrick said mid-October. I got this.
Oh, I was like, what? I
Yeah.
thought you were talking, I thought you were gonna talk to your wife about it. That's why I was
No,
thinking.
no.
I don't know.
I went above her.
Like, I wasn't even thinking about it.
No,
That makes sense. Okay,
okay.
we're good.
7/20/26.
Totally just wasn't even connecting that that's your.
No, I know, I
principal.
threw that one out.
I just
I threw that
totally thought
into
your
the
wife
outfield.
immediately. One of the teenagers will know.
Yeah, sorry, get a skewed back off. All right, that's a good one in Alaska. Then we have the 2026 Wisconsin Association of School Board Ottawa State Education Convention, which is January 21st to the 23rd of 26 in Milwaukee.
Yes, November 3rd is when they open up the window for registering for hotels and such, so that's fast and furious time for us. So if you could let Sheila and I know that mid-October mark, get a firm number there, and I think I really enjoy the conference. We are now sending far more than just our 3 if you can make it. It's a really great time. I do notice that meeting that you're in sessions all of that time, and just doing a lot of work for not only students in Tomah, but your voice is powerful for all Wisconsin schools.
All right, so that Dr. Hanson know about both of those when you know. Okay, next is workforce engagement. Under that, we have an update on the 2025-2026 employee hiring process.
Yes, thank you so much. So we have 2 PBIS positions, one at Lemonwire, one at Miller. Those are technical ones, so they still remain open, but we keep that active and going, and we do absolutely, Rick, I'm so glad you talked about, tracking down needs. We absolutely do that. We do some networking with things. We have very important, as you know, we have always had at least one additional school speech pathologist position open. So board, thank you for leveraging technology and utilizing the technology piece there, but where we can't, we try to find those opportunities to ensure minutes are made. So our people services director, also Chronic, and the IEP teams are all very dedicated to that as we continue to ensure that we fill positions. So right now, we're the 2 PBIS. I'll always bring up a school site there. So, and those 2 PBIS are brand new. We continue to keep those open and cultivate some needs.
What schools did you say those two guys?
Wire and Miller attached to those 2 divisions.
Did the secretarial position at the middle school get filled? I'm thinking it was probably Jan
If not on
Blumen's
this
vacancy.
one, it will, we're hoping soon.
Okay,
Yeah,
those are big
take it
shoes
out.
to fill. She does was there a long time and
Yes,
she did a
and
lot.
if you happen to stop by them as well, just give them a shout out. Hey, thank you so much. They're doing a lot in daily activities at the gym. But to all the team there at the middle school, really taking the lead there where they need to. So.
Sounds good. All right, thank you for that info. All right, next we have the finance and operations, and under that we have an update on school forest sales.
Yes, so out on our website, we do have on our banner a new link. It's there it goes, and it will direct you to passes. There it is. So, with reference to the parcels that are for sale, you'll have the Monroe County sale, and also the proposal information sheet, so you can see the full bid specs, where to send them, terms, etc., and the property attachments. And then also for Jackson County, the same piece there. These will run through October 29. We've also got one other sign out there. Craig has something like this out on the properties, and you can just do the QR code if you're out there and want some more information.
They haven't been posted very long. Has there been any
No, just coming out, yes, going live today.
Today? Okay.
So you said, what was going on with the one out on 16?
Nothing's going on that I'm aware of, but
Yeah.
through the sale process, there will be, or in reference to
To the easement?
easements or other things, so anytime a property is sold, there'll be absolutely a review of the parcel. We'll conduct that with either legal team or someone to do that. So prior to anything, all of those pieces will have to be met in terms of where the easements, where they're not, title searches, etc.
So there's just new highline that basically went right along it, highline electrical wires.
Oh,
So it's just they get, like was alluded to during public comment, they have access to that. So the buyer would need to know,
oh, I
that
see.
there's like an
Okay.
easement from them to be able to access
I
their
jumped right in,
highlines.
what we will do, not explaining what those are, my apologies.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think, as a district, we need to do anything, that's all comes out on the title search and so
Right.
that's.
Right, it's duly noted, but
Yeah.
yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, yes. You good with those? That's just a little bit of an update that is live. Good. Stuff here a little bit. Okay, all right. All right, no unfinished business. We'll move into new business and take consideration and or action on the following, beginning with consideration and possible approval to request for authorization to short-term borrow up to $2 million to meet the immediate expenses of operating and maintaining public construction in the district for the 2025-2026 school year.
Yes, administration highly recommends approval. Having a little bit of trouble with the Adobe sign-in, that's been happening lately, so, well, my apologies. Yep. So, embedded within the, agenda item, you can see the interest that we may need to borrow. I apologize, everyone. So annually, we may need to borrow in the December or June timeframe, and that's when our aid payments come in. We just want to cover payroll at that time, and so it's maybe on some years we need a couple of days of cash flow, 1 or 2 days, and so embedded within the agenda is what the potential amounts might look like, and visiting with Amy Kroltz. Paper tonight. So when you take a look at December, the possible draw might be $1,999,805. And remember, we'll be talking possibly a day or two. And then in June, $1,863,432. So the other item that is the short-term borrowing costs last year were about $660 in interest. And then in previous years, $65, $64. And then back in 21-22, $5,000 in interest, and 2021, $9,000. So what you've seen this year, just stronger fund balances there. So highly recommended in case we need it for a few days.
That's not just the system, too, that's not unusual, I don't know if you read SPARTA, because it's when they remit from the state, Fed, whoever that source is.
Thank you so much for clarifying that.
So just to be clear, it's to fill in the gaps between when we receive the money and the money that has to go out.
Yes.
So it's to help make it so nothing bounces.
Perfect.
Sheila's got this paper.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Contract.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you for explaining all that. I got a motion by Spencer and a second by Sue to approve this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Next would be the second reading and consideration for approval of policy 3440, job-related expenses. Policy 5411, third grade promotion and retention, at-risk students. Policy 5771, search and seizure. Policy 6110, grant funds. Policy 6111, internal controls. Policy 6112, cash management of grants. Policy 6114, cost principles, spending federal funds. Policy 6325, procurement, federal funds, or federal grants funds. Policy 7310, disposition of personal property. And policy 7450, property inventory. And this is the second reading. We talked about these last month. Does anybody have anything to ask or add? Otherwise, I'd look for a motion to approve that second reading of those.
I have a question on the, I think this is the right one. I didn't actually print out which one I'm supposed to. But there's a bunch of definitions, and under personal communication devices, they're adding smartwatches and wearable technology.
Yes.
So so does that mean that students aren't gonna be able to wear like a Fitbit or I didn't print the whole thing, apparently I only printed one page.
So, we do, get from Neola and others, you might see this for, contraband, smoking, things such as that. They continue to list and add those types of technology or substances that, moving into the space. So yes, just trying to expand the definition.
Cause I could not
Catch all
find
those.
where
like
it
to know
was
where that
talking
is,
about personal
actually.
communication devices in that
So
policy.
that looks like that might be in 0100, which is. That might be in our next section.
What was that in the next part?
Maybe in the next one, yes.
Is it in the next one?
Yeah, I think it is.
In the first reading one.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it is. So we'll get to that one in a second.
Okay,
Is that okay?
yeah, no, that's
Thank
fine, I thought it was in the first one.
Okay, so we'll entertain that question in a minute. So, everybody good with the other ones that I read off first? So I would look for a motion to approve those.
I make the motion to approve.
Motion by Rick, do I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Sue, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, sorry. Yep, any opposed? Okay, motion carried there. All right, now, I'm gonna read them off first and then we'll get to that question. So we will have tonight just the first reading, no action yet, on policy 0100, definitions. Policy 0144.5, board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct. Policy 0166.1, consent agenda. Policy 1461, unrequested leaves of absence / fitness or duty. Policy 2522, instructional materials center. Policy 5112, entrance age. Policy 5464, early graduation. Policy 5505, academic honesty. Policy 5505.01, activities code. Policy 5530, student use or possession of intoxicants, drugs, or paraphernalia. Policy 8510, wellness. Policy 8540, vending machines. Policy 8550, competitive food sales. So we had a question right away on 0100 by Ms. Rice.
Yep, sorry, definitely thought it was the other one. Yeah, so I just was wondering where, cause that policy, I just looked it up, is basically just the definitions. So I just am wondering what that's referring to. I didn't see the policy listed in
Right,
there.
in the guidance that we received from Neola, they're just intending to update those and make them more current, so, just adding new types of technology.
Right, which, I mean, you don't have to adopt their policies either, so that's why I'm gonna look up the policies on this.
Would it be something like during tests or something? Is that what they're?
I can understand during tests,
Right.
but that's why I'm wondering where the policy that it refers to.
Cause it does, cause I mean, it says allow students to perform actions or tasks that assist them in attaining educational achievement goals or objectives.
This is just on the definition.
Is that not what I'm reading?
No, we're reading
Right below that, absent services.
absent services.
Better
Is that a
definitions.
different one?
I'm looking at the first one that's on that, it's 0100 definitions. There's two little paragraphs. And you got administrative guidelines, administer,
Absent services, okay.
Okay, there you are. He's
and
on
then
the-
absent services. So I was reading somewhere different?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're good,
Further
but if
down.
if that's where it
Okay.
is, then that would answer my question. So, which one were you, I'm sorry, which one are you on?
Very first policy, first page.
Oh, I see. I was reading higher up. I see the highlighted part now. I see what you're saying.
Okay, but that's still the definition. What I think what, are you getting at them being able to use their smartwatch or whatever electronic device that they need to, in order to accomplish a task if they need it as an accommodation? Is that what you're getting at, or?
My question is, what policies does the personal communication devices? So I know that we say that kids cannot have their cell phones in class, which is fine, but are we gonna be asking all of the kids to take off their Apple Watch or their Fitbit or whatever? Like, that's what I'm trying to say, is I wanna make sure that we're not, during a test, I can understand.
Right.
I can understand that, but if we're just saying, like, you just have to keep your watch in your locker, like,
If they're using it for communication, I would say yes.
Or if they're using it
But if
as
a Fitbit isn't a communication device, so I would think that would apply.
but it's wearable technology. So
Right.
that's what I'm trying to get at, is that needs to be more specific if we're gonna add it in there. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because like a Fitbit, I would consider wearable technology.
Yes.
Okay, so am I not following that? This is just definitions.
Right.
It's
So all we're doing is
definitely right.
defining what a personal communication device is.
Right, so, but if you go through any policies in the district that say personal communication devices, refer back to the definitions.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Now, the definition is now going to include wearable technology. Well, if there's personal communication devices in any of the policies that say students aren't allowed to have them during the day, I don't feel comfortable asking students to take off their Fitbit or their Apple Watch. Because, I mean, that's how if someone asked me to take off my Apple Watch, I'd probably be lost in life, because it tells me everything. So I'm just saying, like, I can understand during a test, but that's what my question was where is I thought maybe
Where
I
is that
missed
used?
it. Yeah, I thought maybe I missed it in the rest of because I read it a few times.
So it's policy 5136, so that's the correct instruction for wherever you would see, and it references the definitions. So Neola's just adding additional intent to that, and so that would be added on there. So while there's no change to 5136, it's just this.
Changing the definition, the very definition would change the policy. Basically,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
it
trying to
would.
say.
Your policy would change totally. If you adopted 100, then 50, what's the number, 5136 becomes, further in depth, and so,
I'm gonna have to read that policy. I don't
That
have
would be good
time
up
to
to
look
the
at
next
this.
one, and the board can determine whether or not they wish to add these two new types of wearable.
and again, because it's Neola and not the state, the legislature, we do
Right,
not
right.
have to adopt it.
Right.
I do have one more.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Yep.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'll go next.
And I have one too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let Keith finish up here.
I just figured since.
Yeah, for sure.
You're on a roll.
0144.5. Board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct. We are adding, so before it said, conduct by board members that compromises the legal position of the district should be avoided. Now it's being changed to conduct by board members that compromises the reputation or legal position of the district are prohibited. Additionally, K now adds in disclose any actual or perceived conflict of interest. So my question is, when I went to Neola and tried to figure out where this came from, it was in May that they suggested that clarifying language has been added to several provisions specific to this bylaw as well as a direct reference to conflict of interest recommended but not required. So my question is, what was the driving force to implement this 4 months after it was recommended by Neola?
So Neola responded, the change prohibited was to align with standard policy language that clearly defines restrictions. It's intended to be a clear statement of what is not allowed rather than a limitation on free speech. The intent is to ensure clarity in the policy's application. The limitation is specific to the reputation and the legal position of the district, which does not mean that a board member cannot make statements or criticisms to help improve the district.
I feel like that this, like, the wording is very subjective. Like, I mean, look at the world today. If someone just disagrees with someone, all of a sudden, like, they're hateful and the reputation of everything is messed up. So I feel like that could be very subjective. Like, the legal position of the district, that's pretty solid. That's pretty objective. It's either legal or it's not. It's either legal or not legal, illegal. But reputation, I feel like that could be very, very subjective. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one.
No.
No?
I'll go next. Same policy, 01145. I think we should strike the words perceived conflict of interest wherever they appear and replace them with actual conflicts of interest as defined by Wisconsin law and any situations that a reasonable person could question as a conflict of interest. That would be legal language to be used. Wisconsin statutes already clearly define actual conflicts of interest, and we must comply with those. Adding the phrase perceived makes the standard vague and opens the door to political misuse. At the same time, transparency matters, and public trust depends on us being open. By using the reasonable person standard instead of the subjective perceived language, we keep the policy clear, fair, consistent, while still respecting the importance of appearances. Also, in that same policy, striking the word reputation from the phrase conduct that compromises the reputation or legal position of the district and replacing it with operational effectiveness. The term reputation isn't a defendable legal standard in court, nor does it have it only looks at the legal standing and operational impacts, not subjected to perceptions. So if we want this policy to be clear, and the key word here is enforceable, we should stick to the language that's actually rooted in law. Unclear language is never harmless in policy, and if it is enforced and defended legally, it shouldn't be in our bylaws. So the clearer we are, the stronger our governance at this point. Reputation can't be defended in court.
And then,
Yeah, go ahead.
and then I'm gonna piggyback on to what Ms. Rice has said about the same policy. Some of the same words. My biggest word was prohibited. The word prohibited in this policy is being exchanged for should be avoided. I do not believe we should change it to prohibit, nor do we need to have it because the law did not change at the state legislature. I do not believe it is in the best interest to change this verbiage for the following reasons. One, the interpretation of what can be prohibited is very vague. What does that word actually mean in every context, or even in the simplest of contexts of innocence? Anything can be interpreted as an inappropriate or stated as a compromised position. For example, when you're dealing with emotions and feelings versus facts. Changing this to prohibited gives the power to the clique of board members, or can give the power to just one person or something. It really will negatively impact. The word prohibited also affects the freedom of speech and can play a gotcha game with that word. Conduct unbecoming, an example is someone rolling their eyes when another person speaks. This is prohibited according to this policy, whereas that should be avoided, does not enact a strong stance of censure and whatnot. So therefore, what would not constitute censure, I spelled the word wrong, and, but if prohibited is put in, then we could sanction a person or the board. This is the way I interpret these words, just my freedom of speech, my actions, even though it could be rude, but it isn't something that should be sanctioned. But if you change it to prohibited, it can be sanctioned, and I would be ineffective just for being slightly rude. Finally, this policy opens Pandora's box to almost anything that we say can be misconstrued and allows for the censure of other board actions. And to follow up with the rest of the policy, it says to go to the board president or the vice president. If the president is a violator, however, if both of them are violating, who do you go to does not define that in the policy, and that should be defined in this policy as well. It is not a clear policy altogether. It's I agree with my two colleagues who pointed out other things that are not clear in this policy and should not be adopted at all.
What happens from here?
Second reading, so someone can make the recommendation and then the board votes.
So they can come to the second meeting with like a written, but they would try to make the motion that is rewritten as this.
I say just don't adopt that
Decision.
policy at all.
That would be the board's decision.
I think just leave that policy as is.
Don't leave the
So leaving it
policy.
as is means basically none of the green.
Correct.
strike through,
That
whatever.
policy was
Not to
clear
accept
before.
the modifications.
Oh, okay.
There,
Because it does, there's other places in there that talks about conflict of interest.
right.
So putting in the perceived in there, so that policy, let me just.
They're
Maybe, okay,
muddling
maybe
it.
the punctuation ones.
So the three options next meeting then would be to possibly make a motion to just not, to leave that one as is, as was, come with a written difference, or adopt it as presented. You understand? Okay, okay.
Yep.
Other questions, comments about other ones, or anything else?
Thank you to the policy committee
Okay.
for sitting through these two. Very good.
I would suggest, if you're gonna rewrite it, make sure it's maybe, do you have that run by somebody else first? Dr. Hanson? Does anybody think they're gonna rewrite it?
No.
No, I mean,
I was just saying, if somebody's gonna rewrite it, do you think they should have it run past someone first?
I would absolutely, Mr. Chairman, run that through, because the only thing I would want to double check is that there are some statutes,
Okay,
legal statutes associated with it. So just to ensure that whatever new language is coming, your board attorney can say, well, here's how it could be interpreted, so that all of you, all voters on the board, would know exactly what is my vote going to actually do tonight.
so if you're gonna choose to rewrite it, please submit it to Dr. Hanson ahead of time, so that you can have it checked.
If I could, so I can get the board all the information.
So Dr. Hanson, let me make sure I understand, clearly. Where it's green, those words were added.
Yes.
And where it's pink, those words were struck.
Yes.
So if we want to keep the original policy, we just need to write, say, our verbiage to leave the pink items in and keep the green items out.
For clarity in your motion, I would put everything you would like in that motion. Then the board chair says, is there a second? Someone second, and then there's discussion, so you just follow that process. And if it fails, then you would go back in and start revising again. So it's a great process, and I think tonight, extraordinarily healthy conversation. Thank you so much. And that was
So I think the basic idea right now would be someone make a motion to accept all except for policy 0100 definitions, and then we approve those, and then somebody would say, I make a motion to leave policy 011 with no changes as presented, something like that.
Yeah, well, basically though, we'd say if you're.
Actually, you wouldn't even do that, because you wouldn't even be doing that.
You wouldn't have to vote on it.
I guess it'd be better to do it because it was presented to us.
Yeah.
So it'd be better to say we didn't do
Say the
it.
first one with the motion gets the first run of it.
So Spencer's
That's
gonna
Robert's
say,
rules.
so tell us.
No, I was just gonna say, because right now, just like we did with the second reading, we're presenting that for approval. We either approve it or we don't.
Right. Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean we have to have that third option at that time. We're just saying at that particular time, this 144.5, this particular one.
Can we just take it out and approve all the rest of them?
Well, that's all I'm
type of
saying,
thing?
because that's what we're
Is that
doing.
you're
We're
trying to
saying
say?
we're gonna approve. That's why when Mike read all of those down through, you pull that out on this particular
Right.
one, that 01445, you either say yes or no.
I see, yeah.
And then that would come back at another date if there's more discussion or you want to modify.
We'll figure it out.
So next month.
Correct, okay. Yeah, we can't do anything this month, it was just first reading.
First reading.
But now we get the discussion, so next month, we come ready to, with their opinion and vote, yeah.
Cleaned up.
Okay. Next, we just have upcoming events and activities that are vetted for us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Busy next couple months for you, so thank you so much for your leadership and attendance at those topics.
Take a look at all those and make a note. Remember to let them know if you're gonna go to Alaska. Next, we look for a contemplated closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.851C to discuss and potentially take action regarding the compensation of recently hired teachers. Motion to go closed.
So moved.
Motion by Heidi, we'll take a roll call in closed.
Heidi,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
Spencer,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Katie,
Yes.
and Rick.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we will be closed as soon as we can clear the room. Thank you all.